Hello everyone. Today I'm going to be sharing my thoughts and feelings on The Crow, a dark fantasy comic written by James O'Barr. The story takes place in an alternate reality that looks something like an even more extreme, grim, and merciless version of Batman's Arkham Asylum. Despite the cruel and unforgiving society they live in, Eric Draven and his fiancée Shelley fall madly in love and find comfort in each other's arms. Eric and Shelley go for a peaceful romantic drive down the open road one fine afternoon, enjoying each other's company when their car is suddenly pulled over by a violent gang of thugs. They drag the two out of the car, and they force Eric to watch them torture his girlfriend to death before shooting him in the back of the head. Just like that, the two lovers are dead. On the anniversary of their deaths, Eric resurrects from the grave as a vengeful spirit and takes on the mantle of a supernatural avenger, tracking down the thugs that killed him and his bride-to-be, one by one, and slaughtering them without mercy. The story begins with Eric violently interrogating a man named Mr. Jones, a thug with connections to the criminals that murdered him and Shelley. Here we get a taste of the protagonist's cruelty and lust for vengeance. He's not the sweet and compassionate man he used to be. He's cruel, sadistic, and enjoys the suffering of the people that wronged him. He's no hero of justice, and he doesn't quite fit the definition of vigilante hero either. He's just a heartbroken man, fixated on personal revenge, and he's willing to throw away his humanity to get what he wants. The Crow does a great job of showing just how tragic and depressing revenge truly is. It's not glorified or beautiful, but it can be dangerously satisfying, and that addiction to the pain can destroy a person from the inside. That's the gist of the plot. A man resurrects from the dead and hunts down the men that killed him and his girlfriend. It's a very simplistic revenge story with a unique gothic horror aesthetic. Eric often goes into insane ramblings where he randomly babbles out dark poetry and edgy quotes, almost like Edgar Allan Poe hopped up on drugs, vengeance, and a rock star charisma. Speaking of Poe, this story is pretty much what you would get if John Wick was written by Edgar Allan Poe. The villains are fairly one-dimensional, but it suits the mood of the story. This is about a broken man lashing out at the world because he's unable to contain his grief. It shows how one truly feels toward people that steal everything that was once precious away from you. There's no mercy or sympathy. There's no attempt to see eye to eye or try to understand why they did what they did. There's only a downward spiral of despair, rage, and a self-consuming lust to give them the punishment they deserve. The story feels more personal and intimate when you read it knowing that it's loosely based on the author's own feelings and experience of losing his significant other. You can feel his rage and despair pouring out from the poetic writing, and the bleak black and white pages smothered with rain, blood, and grime. It also has an extremely good movie adaptation featuring the late Brandon Lee, the son of Bruce Lee. It's rich with a gothic atmosphere and has that nostalgic 1980s action hero that throws out cool one-liners vibe. I heard it was recently released on Netflix, and I would definitely recommend giving it a watch. The original comic is a short and sweet, self-contained story, but there are quite a few spin-off stories where James collaborated with other authors to show off the Dark Avenger in action once more. In most of these spin-off stories, Eric resurrects other unfortunate souls that die tragic deaths, and gives them the opportunity to avenge themselves, just like he once did. None of these stories are quite as good as the original, in my opinion, but I thought they were worth mentioning for people that really want to see more from this cool character. These are my thoughts and feelings on The Crow, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you, and see you all next time.